Hey everyone, Sage is here. Hope you're enjoying Fire Emblem Heroes. Unfortunately, this video will be a little bit less edited than I originally intended. Mostly because I just don't have the time today. Also, I kinda have a bit of a cold, so I'm probably gonna be going back and forth between sleeping and just doing things on my computer and just relaxing pretty much. But I did want to talk about one thing and kind of address what I've been seeing in the comments. Several of you pointed out that this feels a lot more like it's pay to win kind of nonsense when it comes to mobile gaming, and right now I kind of agree in some ways, but not in others. It's hard to say. I really want intelligent systems to do really well with this, but there are a lot of issues that I have. So I guess we'll just start off with the big one that I can think of right now. We will be going over feathers again, people, don't you worry. I know a lot of you are really excited to hear about that one, but first off and foremost, I have to say, stamina usage in this game is getting a bit ridiculous in how it handles itself. You know, I've played things like Record Keeper, I've played Mobius and Wibble Wobble, all kinds of things that use the same sort of stamina system where, you know, you play a stage, it uses your stamina, you wait for it to regen. That basic concept. But I've never really seen a game use as much stamina as Heroes has. Now, granted, Record Keeper and Mobius have some problems with that too, but I mean, I'm halfway through the game on my phone again, and, you know, I haven't linked up my phone. I reset a lot. I got Camilla again, by the way. But I reset it, you know, and I did it on the phone because I didn't want to use the one that I'm using on my NVIDIA tablet, which is what you're watching right now. And I noticed right away from the get-go, outside of the, you know, special event thing, I used up almost all of my stamina potions just trying to get through a bit of hard mode, pretty much. And it's outrageous that, like, one of two things either needs to happen, because right now, the game basically boils down to this. I open up my phone, I play it for 10 minutes, maybe less, maybe like 5 minutes, go through these stages that, you know, take up like 1/3 of my stamina every time, put down my phone, wait 4 hours, and then come back with full stamina. Because honestly, either A, there needs to be a reduced amount of stamina on the stages, or B, just up stamina a bit more. You know, maybe make it a higher cap or the regen rate a bit more. Because currently, I barely get any gameplay out of my, you know, game. And, you know, if I really wanted to waste time, I could just go play Record Keeper or Wibble Wobble, and I'd probably get more playtime out of that than I would in Fire Emblem Heroes. And then again, of course, if you're desperate, you can use your orbs, you know, to refill your stamina, or if you're lucky, go use your My Nintendo points to waste it on stamina potions if you really want, but I feel like that just kinda undercuts the issue and doesn't really address it. We'll also talk about that a little bit later, orbs at least, but stamina right now drains so much and gives you so little, and we're going to talk about orbs right now, actually. You know what? Orbs. So orbs can also be used to refill your stamina, can be used to refill your dual emblems, etc., etc., etc. But the thing is, I feel like, you know, you can use orbs for more useful things, and, you know, castle, summoning units, or doing all sorts of nonsense, and you know, you can use it for feathers, or oh, geez. Well, not, you know, you don't use orbs for feathers, but you use orbs to summon, and then you turn those, and it's just, oh my goodness. So yeah, there's a lot of things there, but I feel like the dependence on orbs is a little much when it comes down to it, because you get to the point where you start to realize it's either you pay to win, or you wait a long time. You know, like typical mobile games, the wait is kind of built in there, but I have never had to do this where, I mean, I can do three missions, 3 hard ones, and I can get 3 orbs. That's great, but by that point, I'm done with my stamina, so I could use one of those orbs to refill my stamina, or I could wait 4 hours, and it's just the reward against stamina to orb, that's such a weird ratio, is incredibly cruel in how it handles itself. Like, you just don't get enough for how much you're using. And it's kind of glaringly obvious the more you go along that unless you want to pay to keep going, you're going to be stuck waiting hours and maybe doing 2 to 3 stages. And that's kind of not the best. And honestly, it gets pretty boring, especially if you're just grinding training towers at that point. And you know, it's funny, because looking back at this, I realize how well Wibble Wobble as a game is made. I think I saw Johnny Awesome actually tweet that out, and I really agree with that, honestly, because comparatively, when it comes to a mobile experience, I actually look towards Wibble Wobble, of all things, as the premium when it comes down to it, because the stamina system in that one is done much more fluidly. You could send stamina to friends when they want to play more, or you can, pay for it, I guess, but mostly you'll usually never find yourself running low on stamina. Not only that, but every stage is 1 stamina, which is easy enough to deal with, and honestly, a little bit better. That and the system for getting yokai, or at least summoning more yokai, is not completely attributed to stamina only. You can get money from doing other things. Granted, it is using the stamina in the process, but it's not directly attributed to that, and that's mostly because of daily missions and things like that. And that's one thing that I feel Heroes is missing in a long run is, the whole kind of systematic missions, just because basically right now there's only missions for, I think, February, and I've already done all of them. And there's just not much else to do. That's the other problem that currently resides in Heroes, is that there's just not much to do. Outside the daily map, which comes out, daily, of course. I think the day was Donald, and you can get a unit, and there you go, you got Donald. But outside of, say, doing Lunatic or Hard Mode, it's just, there's not much to it, and on my phone, I've done all of it. I've done Lunatic, I've done Hard Mode. It took several days to do it because I didn't have stamina potions, but, it got done, and it's just, there's not much to do outside of doing the duel arenas, and I don't find those too exciting. I feel like we're missing a huge portion of the game, and they kind of launched this pretty quickly, from initial release, or at least initial announcement to release. It's been pretty muddy in how it's been handled, and the over-reliance on stamina is definitely something that kind of reeks of trying to pad it out a bit more, and it's outrageous. But we also need to talk about orbs, since we're I feel it's kind of obvious that these are kind of like, Trev mentioned to me, oh, it's a gacha game, this is kind of how they work, you pay to win, basically. And it's pretty obvious that's that's the system. I mean, just look at the orb system. Orbs right now, when you summon, work in such a way that basically you have more beneficial results if you hoard your orbs and spend them all at once. You get 1 per stage, usually, although I think they have a special event stage right now where you can get 6 if you do both of them. And that's nice, that's cool, but one per stage takes 5 to summon, then 4, then 4, then 3, and then 3. So you're basically using up nearly 20 orbs, and that's about, what, $12? You could easily just pay money to get that right away. There's no easy way to get orbs, but, that's kind of obvious because they want you to work for them. The only problem, though, is that there's no real way to grind for them after you've completed the story. You get them maybe occasionally from your daily login, and maybe occasionally from a mission. It's just, there's not much there. You basically have to go and do the arena every day. And the arena, of course, uses his own little system. I feel like if you're just going to do something, just put it all in stamina at this point. The duelist emblems are a little bit much, because that's just basically its own finite system where it's just like, oh, you don't use stamina here, now you use this other resource this other resource that you only get 3 per day, but don't worry, you can use your orb to get more. Yay! Hooray! But, I mean, I guess I'm just complaining at that point. But the bigger problem that I have with heroes right now is the feather system, and I know I've already addressed this. 20,000 from 4 to 5 is just outrageous, and a lot of people pointed out, oh, well, you can reduce the cost by merging merging a rank 4 of the same with another rank 4 of the same. That's great, but that's still a lot more grinding. I mean, you could probably... You're going to be basically taking, let's say you summon, you get a rank 3 of what you had before. You have to upgrade that one, get it to level 20, take that there, put that in there, get the feathers required from 3 to 4, get the badges required from 3 to 4, and then you get that, and then you have to level that up to 20. Oh, wait, no, you don't have to do that for merging, actually. I'm thinking ascending or whatever, unlocking potential. Then you have to merge those, and then you get the reduced thing, and I think it only reduces it by like 300, 400, maybe 600, I forget, but it's just, that's a lot of effort just to reduce it by such a small amount. It's kind of obvious that there's a lot of tinkering that needs to be done. I don't know why it's so, like, I mean, I'm all for grinding. Again, I played Record Keeper. I played Wibble Wobble. Granted, I got a lot further in Record Keeper than I did in Wibble Wobble. I need to get back to Wibble Wobble. Wibble Wobble. I'm just gonna say Wibble Wobble over and over again. But it's weird. It's crazy. It's insane. It's such a strange thing that we're sitting here basically waiting for new things like content and of course stamina, and it's a bit odd to say the least. But I guess, you know, it's a new release, we can't expect a lot of content. I just wish there was a bit more, and that a lot of it didn't require such padding when it came down to it. I'm hoping that as time goes on, some of these problems will be sorted, in a sense. We'll probably have more stamina or something like that, or these events that are popping up, maybe we'll get more of them. Therefore, a lot of the, you know, the disparage between, you know, stamina, orbs, and all this other nonsense is a little bit more mitigated, and therefore we don't have to worry about it. But right now, as it stands, we're lacking a lot of, I'm lacking at least a lot of potential and actual motivation to get in there and play the game, because at this point, it's either you spend money or I don't get anywhere. Oh god, I almost coughed up a lung right there. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say on the matter. I know this probably isn't the best video, but as much as I was thinking about editing up a really important video and making it super amazing, I feel like, you know, after I'm done with the cold, I'm just gonna be sitting there going, nah, I don't want to do this anymore. So, it's more timing than anything else, and I hope I haven't been too rambly or too ranting, because it's been a lot of fun, and I love you guys. I hope you have fun, even though, you know, waiting for the stamina and all that fun stuff. For now, though, I'm gonna hop off. Hope you have a great evening. See you soon.